Hello, gentle viewers. This is Avindian welcoming you to Out of the Park Baseball 21 with the Baltimore Orioles. I'd like to thank a couple of you who have made some suggestions for what to do once we hit OOTP 22. For those of you who don't watch my comments, those typically were the two that I really remember are the three rather are the Oakland A's, the Chicago White Sox, and and a fantasy league, all of which could be great fun. Keep those suggestions rolling in, and I'm sure I'll be making a decision here in a couple 3 weeks. Last season, we did make the playoffs, but it didn't go quite so well after that. We lost in the wild card game, and the Texas Rangers defeated us. So that's not good. But it's worth noting that under our leadership, the Orioles have been to the playoffs a lot of times. How many times? It's actually easier to see it in my history. 11 times. And we've won the World Series 4 times. But it's been a while since we've actually won the World Series. It's actually been a while. So we might need to make some moves, some decisions, some changes to push us over the top. To make sure that we do indeed make the World Series and win it again. Because I would very much like to win another World Series. I'd like to thank William Ashman in my comments, who was the first person to point out that traditionally one win above replacement was considered worth $5 million. It encouraged me to do some research of my own, and it's actually closer to $8 or $9 million. So I think I need to start reassessing how much I'm willing to spend for certain players in terms of getting a decent deal. I think maybe that my brain is trapped in an earlier day of baseball history, where $5 million per win was actually too much. I still think we made the right decision, though, on our friend Victor Salinas, and I think we'll enjoy a much better time with Juan Lara. What did we get for Salinas again? I don't even remember. What did we get for the old Eager Beaver? We got a bunch of interesting parts. And again, maybe none of these players will end up starting for me, but sometimes quantity is better than quality. And in this particular case, I wish him well, but something tells me that you're going to end up really overpaying for him. Although his arbitration estimate did actually come down, the fact is he barely scratched out one win above replacement last season. And I just think Jordan Lara is better. Is it Jordan? That's right, we have two Jordans. We have Lara and Diaz. So, let's take a look at our schedule. And armed with the information I have now, I'm probably willing to open up the checkbook a little bit wider than I would have been for Amaya in particular. What would it take, Mr. Amaya? Oh, I did submit a new contract offer. You just didn't have a chance to consider it yet. All right. So, I would very much like to start doing some 1-year offers. So we're going to start with Sean Dozier. I'm going to give you a little less than your arbitration amount, and you say, okay, perfect. I kind of want to lock you down, Mr. Rivera. But if you're not okay with that, I'll take a 1-year deal with you. Amavisca, no. I'm reaching the point where you're not even giving me one win above replacement consistently. I think I can do better. I'm non-tendering you. Brian Mapp, you're even worse. Non-tendered. Oh, goodness. Excuse me. Juan Ocasio, you've only ever given me one good season. Like, despite all of your incredible talent, you've only given me one good season. Which was last year. And to be quite blunt, you're asking for a pretty hefty raise. How about I offer you... Yeah, 640,000, no. How about I offer you 1.6 million? Okay, I will happily make that offer with you. I'm not giving you 2 million until you can repeat the effort. Steve Reese is so good at so many things in terms of pitching that I know he's had a hard time staying healthy. But that's more than worth 800 grand to me. So 800 grand is what you get. Nelson Vasquez. I've got to be able to do better than this. And yes, you're a good defensive catcher, but you can't hit. Like, at all. I'm definitely leaving wins on the table by not playing a better backup catcher. So I'm actually going to go ahead and non-tender you. Micah Burns. It's just dumb. It's dumb to pay $2 million to a utility infielder who just hasn't been a big producer. Like, at any point in your career, except for 2032. I don't see it. I don't see the point in that. So, withdrawn. And that should hopefully free up some money for us to do a little bit of work in free agency. Chris Davidson. No, not Chris Davidson. Steve Scarpello. I'm going to offer you a minor league extension. Because if you're good enough to give me at least one win above replacement, you are good enough to get an extension. Which also applies to Jimmy Fain, I suppose. Extended. Okay. Let's advance and let's see what happens here. Alright, the 1-year contracts have all been signed. Well, most of them have anyway. Mr. Cartaya, you can go to AAA. You refuse to be demoted. But I've already opted out of your contract. Can I just cut you? Then yeah, that's what I'll do. I'm sorry you don't like it, but it's the truth. And then, who else? Javier Jones. Oh yeah, I traded for you. And I guess I need to put you on the 40-man? Yeah. Alright. That's fine. I didn't actually want him on the Major League roster, though. I wanted him just on the 40-man. You're going to AAA. So, before we progress too much farther, where do we need to upgrade? Shortstop, right field, and probably catcher are the 3 positions we definitely need help at. Shortstop, right field, and definitely catcher. Do we have solutions to any of those problems in-house? Let's take a look. Anderson cannot play short. Kestner can play short badly. Consiglio is maybe okay, but not anything spectacular. Since we're looking at specific positions, let's look at the player development diamond here. All right. Yeah, you're saying my best 3 shortstops are all already in the majors. Which is fair, I suppose. You really like Frank Arongo, but he's a long ways away from Major League ready, in my opinion. And at catcher, Rob Runge, maybe. But yeah, I just need more talent at those positions. That's where we are right now. Now, we do have Tim Locke, and we need to make a decision about him this season. How did he do with his full season in AAA? Pretty damn well. So he's going to start next year. Or this coming season. There's no disputing that. Which probably means Mata goes back to the minors for another season in AAA. While we figure out what to do with the rest of the team. We've got some good relievers to hopefully replace some of the bullpen spots we need. Velez is a pretty solid utility guy, which is why I was comfortable getting rid of what's-his-face. But between Cooper and Burrows, we need to find an actual good shortstop. Or we need to acquire one. Somehow. Another thing somebody mentioned. Let's take a look. No, he's actually awesome at fatigue recovery. That was what somebody said, was that they weren't getting enough rest. But at least this guy, Jerry Rios, is pretty awesome at it. I think what we really just need to do is maybe try to do a bit more... just maybe give people a bit more of a regular break. I think that's something we need to consider. Let's finally check out the minor leagues and see if there's any players who are ready for a big promotion. Gillen, you definitely deserve to be in high A. And I'll go ahead and control your development. I don't know why you even started in Rookie League. Kevin Carter. You had a very good season in Double A. Or in High A. However, this really worries me. This really worries me. And maybe I just need to accept the fact that you're going to end up being just a very good reliever and not a starter. But at the very least, you've earned the challenge of pitching in Double A. Jose Delgado, you've really struggled at every level of the major, of every level of the minor. So we definitely need you to let you get your feet wet before we consider promoting you. Danny Rossetti, you're fine. You're probably the kind of guy who I acquired just to trade because no one is budging Solis anytime soon. Solis, Moreno, and Amaya are forever at this point. As is Diaz. Like, I know I could probably just stick him at third, but I frankly don't think it's a worthwhile idea. So I'm probably overpaying him a little bit, based on $8 million a year for one WAR, paying him $20 million would be still underpaying him a little bit. So I'll take that. let's go ahead and continue. And we got a Maya. We got him locked up. And I think this is a very, very reasonable deal for him. As long as he continues to provide the offensive level that he has since his rookie year. Because a lot of his value is going to have to come from his power. Because he doesn't draw huge numbers of walks, and he's not the best contact hitter. He's also a pretty good center fielder. So you know what? I'm pretty happy with that deal. We still have $26 million in extension money lying around. Do I have a purpose for that money yet? I don't. But once free agency happens, we might be medium large players in free agency. All right, we got our hitting coach. Someone won a gold glove. It's Sonny Hoskins. All right. I can live with that. And let us sim up to free agency filing. The White Sox, you will give me Jeff Phipps for Jose Delgado. Why? Why do you want to get rid of this player? I don't necessarily want to give up Delgado, but if you're that eager to get rid of Phipps, maybe I can give you someone else. Because that's actually a very talented pitcher. He's exactly the kind of pitcher I'd want in Baltimore, whether he starts or he's a long man or he's a reliever. But I don't want to give up Delgado for that. So let's drop Delgado and let's see what kind of stuff you're looking for. I can't give you Runge, but I can give you Roger Araya. Do you have an intriguing shortstop? You do in Danny Allison. Would you give him to me, I wonder? I will definitely take this deal if they agree to it. Who won a Silver Slugger? Moreno and Amaya. But not designated hitter? Or first base? I mean, wow, okay. 4.3 wins. I guess that is a little bit better. And holy shit, Danny Moreno won MVP. Despite not playing for a full season. Which I believe is his second? Or is it his first? It's his first. Congratulations, Danny Moreno. You definitely earned it. Alright. If I offer you something else, you'll take it. Here, have Frank Arango, who can't actually play the position that well. Complete trade. A pretty minor trade, but one that at least gives me more options at shortstop in the medium to long term. Oh, Jeff Phipps. I forgot about you. Sure. There you go. All right. So we do have a top quality catcher on the market. He's going to want a lot of money, though. A lot of money. And keep in mind, I have 42 million for free agents, I guess. So that's not nothing. Do I go in big on a player like that? I don't know. Maybe. Can I get you to sign a 4-year deal at $3 million each? No, but your salary barely increased. I bet if I do one of my Avi specials and just mildly increase your salary each year, that you'll take it. No? Okay. I tried. I wouldn't mind locking up Rivera. Like, I know he's not as good as Leiter is or was, but also nobody is. And his basement is better than most of my pitchers' floor. But he seems very much to be, I want to test free agency in a year, which I can respect. I can respect that. And I don't have anyone else who really needs a great big bucket of cash that I can see. Cullen, maybe. Cooper, I don't know. Maybe. So if I want to make a big splash, this is by no means a bad season to do it. By no means. But there's also this ticking time bomb, which is Danny Moreno's opt-out. And if he keeps playing the way he has been playing, I very much doubt he keeps the rest of his deal. I bet he opts out. But let's check. Free agency. We need catcher, shortstop, and right field. Right off the get-go, the very best player available is Dave Johnson. What are you good at, Dave Johnson? You're good at everything. You're an excellent hitter and a very good fielder, and you're 29 years old. If I'm going to break the bank for a free agent, you're exactly the kind of free agent I would break the bank for. And then maybe we try to pick up a cheap outfielder? All right, Dave. I am actually surprisingly okay with this. And he's certainly better, he's certainly likely to be better than any first-round draft pick I would pick. I would only make one requested change to this, which is I would like these to be team option years and not player option years. All right. We're going to push in our chips and see if we can't pick up Dave Johnson. And if we can't, we can't. And I'll start exploring cheaper options as well. I would like to look at outfielders next. I could bring back Judson Fabian. Like, as a right fielder, I could do a whole lot worse than him. And I do need an everyday right fielder. And then again, I can have Robbie Ehrlich for free. So I'm going to go ahead and toss in an offer on him. Jared Kelenic. We'll figure something out. I don't want to commit to any of these players just yet. Not until I know what happens with the catcher. I really like this deal, actually. I can't give you Kelly yet. But what if I remove Kelly from consideration? Can I give you a marginal prospect? You are definitely wanting value for Mr. Williams. But I think I'm okay with that. I think I'm okay with giving you Kestner. And then I'll see if he'll throw in a prospect or two. You wouldn't give me Mike Logan. I won't even ask. But you might give me Dan DeJesus. Would you give me Dan DeJesus? He'll think about it. I will allow you to think about it then. Because I think that's how I'm going to deal with the shortstop situation. I'm just going to get a bunch of good to decent options and then just figure them out. Here, you want Mike Goldstein, you can have Mike Goldstein. And then I'm just going to pull the trigger now. Alright, so right field is taken care of, at least for one season. Tristan Williams is going to be our opening day right fielder. And I think he's worth it. I think he's got a good chance to be a nice corner outfielder for the team. And most importantly, I have yet another shortstop to deal with. And we can figure out where he fits into my plans a bit later. What? Yeah, you should definitely be in AA. For sure. Because this is on you to develop a bit more of a bat. But yeah, that's very reasonable to me. And yes, I gave away two pretty decent second base prospects, but I'm all in on Jordan Lara. I'm not worried about that. And we got Johnson. And all I'm going to lose is a third round draft pick. That's fantastic. That was... Mwah. Oh. Hey, Kelly. I may actually trade you now. Because we just got Dave Johnson. Yeah, that's exactly what we needed to get back to contention. And now I'm at the point where I'm actually perfectly happy to go ahead and punt on the shortstop question. And just let players like Burrows and Cooper just fight over it. I'm no longer at all concerned about our offseason. Hall of Famers. Hall of Famers. Eric Hosmer somehow had 2,500 hits. But you're awful. Have you just been like a DH your whole career? Or have you just been a bad first baseman? You've actually been a fairly good first baseman. You just have an empty batting average. Yeah, I'm not going to vote for that. Someone else can if they want. I do like the name Johnny Lasagna, but I'm not going to vote for that either. I believe in Andrew McCutchen. I think he deserves his spot. I'm always going to vote for Jose Ramirez. That's not a question for me. JT Real Muto, yes. Anthony Rendon is borderline for me based on how he's turned out. And did anyone else get a bunch of votes? I mean, I will give a vote to Ryan Braun, but I don't think he's going to make it. I don't think he even has a chance. Garrett Cole, maybe. But he's kind of trapped in that same area that everyone else is, where starting pitchers are just not going to look as good as they used to. And yeah, I don't think Garrett Cole is worthy, in my opinion. Oh, Buster Posey. Definitely. I'm going to vote for you. But something tells me you're not going to make it. Yeah, I don't believe in Eric Hosmer at all. Even if he'd gotten 3,000 hits, I wouldn't have voted for him. I bet he'll still get voted in just because that's the way these things work. But I don't think he's worthy. Like, his career OPS plus is 102. 102. He was exactly 2% better than the average player. He just played for a really long time. Yeah, I am not at all convinced he's a Hall of Famer. In fact, I'm rather convinced about the opposite. Alright, so of our 3 problem areas, we have fixed 2 of them. And I am fine with that. I am utterly content with that. And I think we're going to see a significant improvement in the team just based on Dave Johnson, quite frankly. You silly Cubs. How would you let someone like that go? I don't know. It's not like the Cubs are poor either. Well, the Cubs could definitely have afforded him. Let's sim up to the Rule 5. Alright, now before we go any farther, we need to see if there's anybody who we need to remove from the 40-man or add to the 40-man. Alright, Consiglio. I don't think you need to be on the 40-man anymore. Even if somebody else grabs you, I can live with that. Kessler is a very, very decent pitcher. And it's not that I'm so overwhelmed with great relief options that I can afford to just hand him away for nothing. So, Mr. Kessler, you go on the 40-man. Figueroa, I don't care. I don't care about most of y'all. If someone else grabs you, they grab you. And then I do want to go ahead and put DeJesus on the 40-man as well, because I don't want to lose him. And I think that's actually good enough. I don't think there's anyone else I feel a need to protect. So we're going to go to the Rule 5 draft. I'm going to hit start. And I'm going to skip to my pick. Is there anybody here that I would want? Specifically, a decent shortstop. Alex Romero, no. You're not the kind of player that I want. Nah, there's a bunch of bad shortstops, but there's none that are good enough to compete for a job on my team. Baron is pretty amazing as a defender, but nah. I think I'm good to just complete the draft. Oh, you silly Dodgers. You didn't even protect Greg Kessner. That's going to bite you on the ass. For sure. That was so incredibly stupid of you. They got a starting caliber second baseman for nothing. Dodgers, you fuck that up. I can't make fun of them too much because we've all seen me done the exact same thing in the recent past. And then no one wanted Consiglio, as I suspected they wouldn't. Sorry, mate. I'm not trying to be mean. That's just the breaks. I didn't realize that Dave Johnson was the number 3 hitter in the NL last year, and now he is the number 3 in the AL. Neat. Aw, Steve Stadler is pitching for New York now. Yeah. I know I got very little for Stadler, but I still feel like I won this particular trade, at least a little bit. Nobody made it. Damn. How did I miss Chris Sale? I would have voted for him. I don't think it would have mattered, though. And holy shit, you people like Rafael Devers. I did not see these guys. Maybe you saw them, and you were like, Avi, how could you have missed them? But I would have voted for Devers if I'd seen it. This is a damn fine third baseman. Without hesitation, I would have voted for him had I seen him there. Wow, Shohei Ohtani really didn't work out very well, did he? Not in this version of baseball reality, anyway. What are my owner goals? Did I miss something important? You wanted me to upgrade a catcher. I'm pretty sure I did that. Pretty sure. However, there is a very important issue coming up like 3 years down the road, which is what does Moreno do? Thomas gets worse, apparently. But only by a little bit. That's not a huge deal. Alright, spring training time. Let's go. Aw, poor Camacho. His album failed. Sucks to be you. Alright, Locke is already there. God, quit changing the stupid scout. I know I'm being unreasonably stupid about this, but it's driving me up the bloody wall. Just stop. Allison. I frankly don't see a lot that says you're better than my existing shortstops, but I also don't see anything that says that you're not. So I'm going to go ahead and let you be on the spring training roster. Along with Consiglio, Figueroa, and Runge. Castillo looks very not bad. He's got a chance to be an outfielder for us in the near future, but I want him to develop a bit more. Let me lock you down. I don't mind if you actually get a bit of a time in spring training. We can see what you can do. That's fine with me. Anybody else? I have 42 players in spring training. I'm pretty sure that's enough. Alright, lineups. Bench coach, coach the hell out of this bench. Pitching. Bench coach. Give me my 6-man rotation for spring training so that everyone gets a few innings. I don't know why you insist on making Chris Brandt the closer when Cullen's done just fine the last couple of seasons, but I don't mind. We can just see what happens. That's fine. Arjun Cock. Oh dear. I'm way past my teenage days, but some things are always funny. It wouldn't be a spring training if Devin Mann didn't get hurt. Some pretty nice improvements here for certain players. Chris Schneider. You're actually a surprisingly capable little starter. Potentially. I will be pleased to see how you work out. Next week. Next week. I would object to this. I would take this trade if I thought there was any hope whatsoever he would be anything other than garbage. Which I don't believe. Oh, Juan Ocasio. How many injuries have you had in your career at this point? A lot. Like, a lot. And yet you keep wanting more money, despite the fact all you do is get hurt every season. I don't even know who Jimmy Colna is, but now I'm not going to get to know who he is for an entire year. So that's not great. Alright. Let us start making the easy decisions. Injured list. Injured list. Nobody else is hurt, so we're down to 40. Pitching ratings. I do not need this many starters. I do not need 6, and I think Jordan Mata would benefit most from pitching in the minors this season. So you go to AAA. That then sets my 5-man rotation, and I don't have to mess with anything there. I still need to send 4 more pitchers to the minors. Banda, you're gone. Rubio, you're a lefty, but so is Sevenin, so I'm going to go ahead and let you go to the minors. Elliott, I think you can also go to the minors. Oh, Steve Rees. I need to put you on the 40-man if I want to keep you on the roster, which I do. Kessler to the minors, and I think Elliott to the minors. Brings you down to 13 pitchers, which is probably one more than I need, but we'll deal with that later. And I do need to add Rees to the 40-man. Alright. Very good rotation, in my opinion. And bullpen. And it's a decently young rotation, too, with only 2 players over 30. One of whom is Sean Dozier, who has just never really gotten a fair shake as a full-time starter, and he keeps getting injured when he does. So I'm over the moon with giving him another chance to prove himself. I still got to get rid of 9 position players, though. Alright, Rouge, minors. Kelly, minors, possible trade. Jones, minors. Rossetti, minors. Allison minors, DeJesus minors, Consiglio minors. No, he doesn't, does he? I guess he does. I'll tell you what, I will happily trade you, Consiglio. Someone else who needs a left fielder will hopefully give me something of great value for you, because I have no desire to keep you. Give me Ethan Washington. Unless... oh, I could get Mike Taylor. I could get Mike Taylor. I don't think I want him, though. I like stockpiling catchers because I don't want to be caught flat-footed if what's-his-face retires or gets hurt or whatever. So Ethan Washington, come on down. I still need to get rid of 2 more players. Figueroa. Okay, Jordan Diaz, you are always a designated hitter. You will never be anything other than a designated hitter. I like Castillo. I like Meyer better than Castillo, so you go to the minors. And here is our opening day roster, which we'll get set up here in just a moment. Nuke 'em all. And nuke it. And then we'll sim up to opening day. A trade proposal. Declined. An off-the-field accident? Really, Ocasio, you dipshit? I don't have anyone in the top 100 prospects, which is fair. Am I at least in the top 15 for systems? Just under it. Just under it. The Orioles are 16th now. Which is fine. I like being middle of the pack because I've been so good for so long. I think that deserves praise, in my opinion. All right. Pitching staff first. I'm going to look at ratings because that's what matters the most to me in terms of deciding who's going to pitch where. Rivera, number 1. Locke 2 or Locke 3? How did Chris Thomas pitch last year? He pitched fine. But I still think we'd be better suited having Locke or having Thomas as the 3rd starter. So then we're going to let Locke be the 2nd starter, Dozier the 4th, and Hoskins at the back of the rotation. Also, Mr. Locke, you have pitched 100+ innings multiple times over the past few seasons. I think we can at least increase your pitch count to 90. So that's all dealt with. Andy Cullen. You have been extremely useful. Just switch to relievers, please. All right, Jeff Phipps, you are my long reliever emergency starter. That's how I'm going to leverage you in the short term. And if you do improve a bit, I may consider, what are you unhappy about? You didn't like how you pitched last year. Well, maybe you'll pitch better this year. Quit crying. Kari Sivanen, I want you to be my specialist. And now we have the rest of the staff. Did I ever try Brandt as closer before? It looks like I never have. I'm going to give you that shot. I'm going to let you earn the closer's role this season, Mr. Brandt. As for the rest of this team, Andy Cullen, I think you will be a fine setup man. As well, Juan Castaneda. And then middle. And then I will decide who pitches more of the three of you as the season progresses. Is Castaneda better than Cullen? He's actually a lot better. You know what? You're demoted to regular middle reliever. And actually, because Brandt is low on stamina, I'm not going to make him pitch multiple innings if he doesn't have to. Yeah, he was a really good reliever for us last season. I think he's earned the closer spot. Okay, this is our pitching staff. And I feel pretty good about it. I feel real good about it. And I'm really curious to see what Tim Locke does with a full season in the majors. Well, his second full season in the majors. We have Chris Thomas, the old workhorse. And Sean, I just want you to stay healthy for one season. I want you to show me what you can do if you get 30 starts in a season. I'm frankly will be shocked if you manage that, but I want you to get the shot. I want you to have the opportunity to show off to the world that you can be a good starter. And Sonny Hoskins, you're durable if nothing else, even if you had some issues last season. But you're always going to be prone to go for balls, so having you be the fifth starter doesn't really hurt us very much. So here's the pitching staff. Now let's set the positions. All right. Moreno and Solis are the easiest two decisions I have to make every year. And then every other decision becomes infinitely harder after that. Jordan Diaz, I think, is the natural fifth place hitter. Because he's a really good all-around hitter who doesn't do badly at anything. The $1 million question is, who is my leadoff man? Where does Dave Johnson fit in this lineup? You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to bat Diaz second, and I'm going to bat Dave Johnson fifth. Because Diaz has truly phenomenal plate discipline, and he's a great all-around hitter, and I certainly love having him hitting second. Hitting leadoff, I mean, Lara seems like the obvious choice, right? The dude gets on base, and he's got a really great batting eye. And even if he doesn't hit for great contact, I will take this out of the leadoff spot. I will take a 358 on base percentage. That might even get better. So I think Lara is going to do that. Jimenez is fine. No, Amaya bats sixth. Yeah, Amaya is my sixth place hitter. Then Jimenez. then Williams. No, Williams, then Jimenez. Williams has a bit more pop in his bat. So he's a little bit better to bat a little higher in the order where he can drive people in. And then who's going to be my starting shortstop? Is it going to be Cooper, Burrows, or Velez? Burrows never really got a fair shake at the position. 160 at-bats is nothing in the grand scheme of things. That said, nothing in his past indicates he'd be that great a hitter in the majors. He's struggled to hit above 200 his entire career. That is all true. However, I think he's also the best shortstop of the three. Mike Burrows. You're about the same. You're a tiny bit better against left-handed pitching, but not by enough. All right, Burrows, I'm going to let you start at shortstop. That is what is happening here. And I'm going to go ahead and let the AI give me my depth chart and see what you want me to do here. Once a week. Cooper is just not a better hitter than Jimenez. This is giving Cooper a lot of playing time, but I don't know that I'm opposed to that. I at least get a chance to see what he can do. I agree on the every 10 games for Navarez, and I agree letting Lara play the odd DH will spell Diaz and make him better off. This is great. I'm going to go ahead and copy and paste this right now. And there we have it, my friends. We have the lineup that I think is going to be very, very good. It's extremely balanced. It's got power for days. Like, seriously. Moreno, Solis, Amaya, Diaz, and Williams are all above average power hitters. And I think Moreno and Solis could be trading MVPs for seasons to come. Like, look how stupidly good Solis was in a third of a season last year. Not a little bit more than a third. That's pretty hilarious. And I have every reason to suspect that they'll both play extremely well. Alright, friends. We made a big splash this offseason. Is it going to be enough to get us back to the promised land? I think so. Because Dave Johnson has been one of the premier catchers in the majors. And I think he'll only do better here in the American League. Now, there are some dark storm clouds in our future. And here is that storm cloud. I will probably have to choose between Moreno and Johnson, assuming that Johnson doesn't opt out. I should have taken out the opt-out. I have a feeling I'll regret that. But it is what it is. I'd really like Rivera to sign a longer deal because he's going to be part of this rotation for the foreseeable future. I truly believe that. But the thing is, he doesn't want to talk extension is the problem. We have a pretty big payroll, relatively speaking. We're still only 17th. Whatever. I know I could increase ticket prices again, and I'm going to, but I don't want to increase them by too much. No. Dozier. No. I just no. I like you a lot. Not $15 million a year in a lot. Even if we accept the higher value of $8 million a win, you've consistently given me two, which means you might be worth it barely, but you also can't stay healthy. So no, I will not pay you $15 million a year. That is not happening ever for any reason. No. With that, I thank you for watching. I hope you're enjoying the series. Do keep sprinkling in suggestions for teams you'd like to see me play in OOTP 22. Um, I've got to say my favorite so far is the A's because I've always liked Oakland as a team. But I think there's a lot of other teams that could be interesting. I will say no Yankees or Red Sox. I think those are the two franchises I wouldn't want to play as. I don't like the Yankees because, frankly, no good American League fan likes the Yankees. And I don't like the Red Sox just because I think it would be a little bit too easy to succeed with that big a payroll. So I guess I have to put the Dodgers in the same boat, don't I? Yeah, I would say none of those three teams, just because I think it would be very dull. But if you feel passionately enough and you can make a great argument for me, then you can drop into the comments and let me know. Um, Fantasy League could be fun. Japanese baseball could be fun. Heck, Korean baseball could be fun. So do let me know what you think. And just go ahead and drop me some comments. And I'll try to make an announcement on this by the end of February. I think I'm going to set that as my, this is officially what will be coming so you can get hyped for it and everything. Until next time, though, this has been Avindian. Thank you for watching, and I bid you good day.